Welcome to the TIMFD podcast. Today is my favorite day is about appreciating every day as it comes, no matter what life throws at us. We hope this podcast speaks to you, and if it does, please like, share, and comment. Now let's find out why today is our favorite day this week.
Welcome back to Today is My Favorite Day. Hello. I'm Sam McKeown here with Daivd Towner and Michelle Levandowski. Twice I got that
right. You got it right.
Nailed it.
We had kind of a mess up at first, but we started.
Yeah, we never mess up. But Michelle, we have a question for you today,
okay.
and it's a real broad question. How did your fitness save you?
That's a big question. So let's start starting with your faith. How about that? Yeah. We start there. So, Californian.
Yes, sir.
He lived in California.
For a short time, I don't own it.
No, I do. So, where did you grow up? And I want to know about your faith, how that all got started, because it's very unique and it's tied to a very important movie that just came out in the last year.
That's right.
I'm intrigued, so I got to ask. Go ahead.
So I'll try to make this the short version. My father was born again through through Calvary Chapel.
The Calvary Chapel movement.
And Chuck Smith.
Yep.
Yes.
The whole Jesus People movement.
The whole Jesus People movement. Yes. So when we came in, my parents did go to when they were meeting in the tent, and then our family started attending right after they built the facility in Costa Mesa. So that was my brother and I. That was our church that we went to. And then when Greg Laurie opened in Riverside, we went to his church.
And you were baptized in that same place in the movie, Jesus, what was it called?
Revolution.
Yes. Jesus Revolution.
Yes.
Matter of fact, Tanya and I saw the movie.
Yeah.
And Dr. Sosa and his wife was in the same theater at the same time we saw it. Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Yes.
So you got baptized at that very famous place.
Yep, Corona Del Mar, and I was baptized by Pastor Chuck Smith.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So our childhood was the Bible, chapter by chapter, verse by verse,
awesome.
And amazing Christian music. You know, all the best music. I mean, Maranatha music. All of it was born in that season. Everybody
came through there. Yeah. I was up in Northern California, so I knew everything about that. Chuck Swindoll, because he was down there too.
Yeah.
But Chuck Smith and what was happening down there and the whole movement. I didn't come to Christ till later on, 1984, but that movement I had heard of.
Yes.
And what was going on. So you accept Christ.
Yep.
Let's go a little forward.
Okay.
You get out of high school. When did you get married?
I got married in 1990.
Okay.
And,
wow, really? What year? What time of the year?
In May.
December for us.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that anniversary is coming up. Stop counting. I don't know. Sorry, Mark.
It's going to be 34.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm very good with this. My wife says the same thing. When we were married, what was the year? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that and the kids' names and ages.
There we go. Hey, you and you and you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were married in 1990?
Yes.
You have 4 kids?
Yes.
And boys, girls?
I have 2 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, so you had
boy,
both.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you went into business, right?
Yes.
Later on down the line.
Yep.
Okay. What was the business?
So I met my husband in a hair salon.
Okay.
Pretty popular for the era. University Mall, the Man Trap.
The Man Trap.
The Man Trap. Yes. So I trapped my man. You love it?
Were you working? Or
yes.
Were you, okay.
Yes, that was a hair
She was
salon.
working in the Man Trap and trapped a man.
I did. I found my husband at the Man Trap.
Oh,
Okay.
Right. That's awesome.
So yes, and my family actually were part of his conversion experience as well, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So because I knew I would never marry a non-Christian,
Right.
so and I really didn't expect it to be him either.
Okay.
And so that happened, and then the following year 4 years, and that we dated or whatever, knew one another, and then got married and started having kids.
Started having the babies.
And
then you went into business in the fashion world. I guess it's in the hairdressing world, right?
Yeah, we decided to open our own salon.
Okay.
And so we spent about 15 years working together.
Wow.
And so lots of
I'll
stories
ask you a
there.
question around that because in the business world,
Yes.
you never go to work with family, relatives, friends.
Yeah.
So how did that work
It's
out?
a challenge.
Oh, it was something else.
challenge,
It was a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
But my husband still does hair.
Oh, he does?
He does,
He does
yeah.
my wife's hair.
No way,
Yeah,
really?
yes.
So where's
Yeah.
that?
He is on Racetrack Road. He has a little place that he loves. He just rents a room.
The little place right down here. Okay.
Yeah, one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's one of the persons in there, and he kind of does his own thing.
He does. And he has a knife sharpening business too.
Oh, I saw that. I saw Mary saying that. That's a unique thing.
Yeah, the art of sharpening.
The art of sharpening.
Yes.
It is an art.
Yes,
by the way, it is.
It is.
People mess it up.
Does he have a website, or does he have anything like that? Any of that kind of information?
He's terrible on social media. He has amazing Google reviews, though.
That's awesome.
Like he's like one of the top. If you type in knife sharpening in the area, he is one of the ones that comes up first.
Okay,
well,
that's easy to know now.
He's got amazing reviews.
That's good.
And he does so people drop sharp instruments off at our house on a daily.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
That's scary. Okay, so did business.
But we digress.
Yeah, you did business with your husband.
Yes.
Stress of the business.
Absolutely.
Just for one, the stress of the business.
Yes.
And the way I remember you bringing it up is that you wanted to do the hairdressing side of things, right?
Sure, yeah.
And he wanted to do that too.
Yes.
But neither of you guys wanted to really run the business.
Yeah.
And then you got kind of volunteered or voluntold or however that worked.
It fell on me. The mantle of leadership fell on me for
mantle of leadership.
Yes. Yes.
I love the way she put that.
Working on the business.
I have the mantle of leadership.
I have the mantle of leadership. It was pretty rocky at the beginning. No, it was very uncomfortable. And
what made it uncomfortable? What were the things that you didn't like about it? Because you liked the actual business.
Sure.
You liked doing the things.
I like working one-on-one with people, making them happy.
Okay.
But to deal with a team of people, and you had to set up policies, procedures, protocols.
You sure do.
You have all the hard conversations with your team as well as with any clients that are unhappy. You know, I had to make all the hard decisions.
Yeah, of course.
And so I had to be the bad guy.
You had to deal with.
Correct. He was one of the ones that I had to deal with, and he was my star, performer.
I had a couple of guys at the church that said, I really felt like going into ministry and being a pastor, but then I realized I don't like people.
Yeah.
It's kind of you probably don't want to do that if that's the case.
Yeah.
But you were doing the business end of things.
I was doing the business end of things, and I had my own clientele base that I, maintained. And then, of course, the kids and managing the home life. And,
so you had a lot of stress going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand stress.
I do.
You understand what it can do.
Very intimate with it.
Okay. And then what did it do to you physically, emotionally, mentally when you were in that kind of place? Because people that are going to watch this may have had to deal with this, or maybe right in the middle of it right now.
Yeah.
Where were you? What was it doing to you? And what were some of the things you were looking to do and the things you finally did?
So, it was crushing me.
Okay.
I didn't feel that I could measure up anywhere.
Okay.
I didn't feel like a great mom. That was new. Having four kids, the multiples. Mm-hmm. And then, my relationship with my husband was stressed, at home as well as at work.
Yep.
I wasn't a great leader because it was new to me and I didn't really want to do it.
Right. It wasn't something you were jumping at doing.
No.
So it added extra stress onto you.
Yes. Yes. So it was just conflict everywhere I went. And I didn't know how to get relief from it. I didn't know how to get away from it. We would meet friends at Barnes and Noble and for coffee, right?
Right.
So they would all sit and have coffee and I was in the business section buying books. Because I needed help
you
so
need to understand
desperately.
How to do it. Yes.
And I didn't have anybody to help me and I could never turn it off ever.
Yeah.
I could never turn off
if that's not natural for you, that's going to definitely be hard to turn off.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had that.
Yep. I didn't want to fail.
4 kids.
Yep.
Did you have a perfectionist background to you? Because I know I've had that. And
absolutely.
So, okay.
Performance. Absolutely. Performance-based. Yeah. I wanted to do well. I had all these. I am a tenacity person, so I like to finish things, and I also want to do them well.
Yep.
And I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so,
I can't let go. My wife and I would start reading a book, and she'd go, "I don't want to read this anymore." I couldn't let it go. I have to keep reading it.
Yes.
I have to finish it, and I've gone, "Okay, I've done it.
Yes.
Now I could go on." Is that kind of where you were at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a good place.
No.
Not a good place.
No.
So how you got to this place, your relationship with Jesus, how was it going at that particular time?
Well, I attended church, but honestly, there were many times when I would fall asleep during service. I was just physically
trash.
spent. I was sitting down. I would fall asleep in the car on the drive there.
There we go. Yeah.
I was tapped out.
Yeah, you were done.
I was done. Okay. So
So spiritually at that time you were struggling.
I was struggling.
And that adds to the stressor just kind of keeps going.
It does.
Right? So those watching right now, you may understand that just a bit. You kind of get where she's coming from. So with that in mind, what did you do kind of on the perfectionist side, grew up in the church, you want to keep your faith, you want to be a good mom, you want to be a good mother, you want to be a good business person. What did you do?
Well, I wanted to run away is what I wanted to do.
There we go.
I wanted to leave.
Okay.
And I knew that wasn't an option.
So running wasn't an option?
No.
Were you looking at other things maybe to get involved with?
Absolutely.
And Tanya, I'll be honest, she brought it up. She said when she hit rock bottom for her, which was the business, the church business, her own business, our daughter who was really struggling, our youngest was really struggling bad. And she just goes, I didn't know where to go. Yeah. And she said she was already working out. She's a gym rat and has always been in the gym. But she just said, I think I need to drink and just start drinking. And then she went, I was bringing it up to you and to Kathy. She just goes, I'm way too vain for that. I can't do that. Yeah. I'm not going to put that weight on. Yeah. So, she had her where she went. What did you do?
So with the industry that I was in, definitely image was a big deal. Everything. It was, high fashion trend. It was, everything always being on point. I didn't go to the grocery store without having hair and makeup done because who
someone
knows?
Can take a picture. Someone can say it. Yeah.
I might see a client. Absolutely. I'm representing all the time.
Yep.
And so I started working out when my youngest was 5. So it's been 20 years.
Okay. You've been in a while. Okay.
Yes. And I found that it was the only thing I could do where I couldn't think about anything else. Because it was new. It was a new skill set. And, there was a couple people I would go to the gym with and, do workouts, do classes.
Quiet your mind, maybe?
Yes. Because it was just a break. Yeah. It was a break. Yeah. So that was really beneficial for me. And then, of course, after having 4 kids, there's things to work on, too. One or two little things. You just want to get
in better shape and you want to be in a better place.
I want to feel better. I want to look better.
Feel better for yourself.
Yes. Yes, yeah. And the benefits, I did experience that, of course. I was able to, lose the last little bit of pregnancy weight after 4.
And you actually went to a fitness competition, if I remember right. Because Tanya was in aerobic competition. She actually did that. We went to Minnesota, different places like that. Yeah. So you got into that.
I did.
Okay.
Yes. I competed in a couple of figure shows, and so I had a season where I was experimenting with that. Actually, one of the girls in the salon that I who worked for me, she wanted to do it, so it was something that we did together.
And you cut up in the whole bit, right?
We did. Oh yeah, I've got some great pictures.
I know. And in my old track days and stuff,
amazing.
Yeah, you could cut yourself up really well, and you just go, why can't I be that all the time?
It's not a sustainable lifestyle.
It's not.
And that's the part that is. That's hard.
It's hard.
It's really hard because you put all that time and energy into this physical thing.
For about maybe a week or 2 that you get to really get to see at the optimum level.
Yes.
But you can't keep it there. It's almost impossible to keep it there. That's why athletes have to let it rest.
They do. You cycle.
Yes.
And it's...
Unfortunately, some people cycle with some other stuff. But that's okay.
That's always an option too.
Yes, it is.
And... with being in the beauty industry, those options are always there, in dealing with, my team and, their lifestyles. You always have access to everything. So, of course, there's always on the table. Yeah. And then, and I chose working out and, there were, seasons where if you asked my family, they probably thought I was taking it to an extreme at that time.
No. But you said that you were doing like an hour workout.
Yes.
And then when you got closer to the competition, there was an hour workout, another hour workout.
Correct.
2 days. To me and my wife, that is not crazy.
It doesn't seem
that's
crazy.
That's part of what
it is.
At one time we were living.
But it's the regimented meals.
With 4 kids.
And it's the protein shakes.
Absolutely.
And it's the, I have to eat right now. And no, I can't eat that. Yes. And it was the dynamics at home as well.
It causes problems there.
It does. It causes problems all the way around. Yeah. So at home and at work too. Yeah. So the only place that it was appreciated was when I was at the gym.
Yeah, okay.
And the people that I was surrounded with there that were kind of doing this thing with me or saw the progress that I was making. So that's, It's a really great ego feeder.
So you got into fitness.
Yes.
And like you said, big ego feeder.
Absolutely.
Which is good for self-confidence.
Sure.
Bad for a lot of other things,
Correct.
right? Could cause a lot of damage that way with relationships and everything else.
And it did.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have people watching this.
Yes.
They're talking. They go, hey, maybe I'll go into fitness. She looks good. I want to do that. That kind of thing. I had some people come to this last week and ask Tanya what she's doing. Yeah. And I started laughing. I go, you haven't changed anything. You can do the same thing you always do.
Yeah.
So for you, a little bit of an ego thing. How'd that affect at home? And because I know that we've experienced this kind of world. So how'd that affect home life at all?
There was a season where things did not go well at all.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to do some marriage
some relationship
stuff,
things,
and relationship stuff.
It was tough.
And so I'm kind of curious about that. So we'll get her back.
We'll get her back.
Yeah,
yes,
just
absolutely.
to talk about that because the business world and everything else, stressors.
So the fitness side of it led you to competitions.
Yes.
And competitions led you to injury.
It did.
And recovery.
The craziness. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The competition.
So I knew the competitions weren't sustainable, and I just didn't have the time and money to be able to pursue that. But I stayed in the gym, so I started doing, more fun runs, obstacle course racing, mud runs, and I was able to incorporate that in with the family too.
Yeah, you said you brought all the kids in it, right?
Yes, the kids were willing to awesome. Go get dirty with with me.
Mom.
With mom.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
it was wonderful. So we have some really great memories from that. But I continued in it. And so I would find friends, over the years, always having like the next event. And there was a season where one of my girlfriends and we were going to do the Spartan trifecta and do the sprint, the super, and the beast all in one year. Okay. And so I traveled.
And those were different parts of the country, correct?
Yeah, you could travel for them.
Okay.
It's definitely things you would need to travel for.
Yeah.
So I did the sprint in Tennessee with actually Mark's family.
Okay.
And so we, they were intrigued by what I was doing, and so they wanted to participate. And fifth obstacle, I got hurt. This guy fell on top of me and busted up my knee, ACL, MCL, and meniscus. So I got carried off the course, and I couldn't. My brother-in-law had to drive me home from Tennessee to Florida. It was my 50th birthday, and so I had surgery.
But you recovered.
Yeah, I did.
You recovered.
I did, and that was a whole very, very humbling season and experience, but one that God showed me a lot in that, because he took me down. Yeah. He really literally took me down. And during that season, there was the jobs I was working even were kind of humbling. Yeah, they were very humbling. And one of them, landscaping, which I dearly love. But, every day I'm kneeling in the dirt and it hurt. With my knee, it really, really hurt. But that's been the best therapy for me.
Okay.
And
you're doing that.
Yes.
You're doing that at your own home.
I am. Yeah, I absolutely love gardening. Yeah.
Yeah, vegetables and that kind of thing, correct?
I do. I'm trying to grow food.
That's awesome.
Yeah, doing my best. So my husband and I work on that together, growing food. And, definitely my word for last year was simple, which my family laughed at. But, I don't know why. But just really simplifying life and making sure that, making decisions to do things that are really important.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are you doing to keep yourself spiritually in a good place?
Yeah.
You're still working out?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And do you train people, do anything like that? Do you do any of that stuff right now?
So
is that where you're wanting to go, or
not necessarily? I do have my CPT, certified personal trainer, but it's more for experience, and I can help people with movement because I know it's important. But what is actually even more beneficial to me is the National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach, because that is where really meaningful work can happen. It starts up here, right? The thought life,
absolutely,
drops down into that 6 inches to the heart, and life is lived through movement, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was your question again? I had this whole thing I was doing.
No. That's
next?
Okay. Spiritually.
Oh, spiritually. Yes.
Where are you
Thank
going spiritually,
Okay.
physically?
Okay. Okay.
That's okay. That's good.
So physically, it's important for me to continue moving. One, because it's just now it's my way of being.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is still a great stress reliever. But my reasons for doing it are so much different than they used to be.
Okay.
You know, because I want to be strong for my children, my grandchildren. I want to be able to have fun. I want to be able to enjoy, you know, all that, you know, God has for us in movement. So there's that side of it, but it's not one that I'm going to go overboard in. As far as faith goes, it's learning to stop and to actually, you know, ask him to order my day, you know, so that Devo time, that devotional time. Huge. And, you know, reading and praying, which I've always had that, but I'm really working in consistency in that area. Good. And, you know, with my amazing upbringing, you know, at church.
You guys were trained.
Yeah, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. I don't know how many times someone has taught me through the Bible, but it's where I need to do that for myself as well.
Yes, you do.
And then, you know, I've had the opportunity to lead, you know, women's groups, you know, faith and fitness women's group. Yep. So I have structured workouts and then led sermon discussions, which I absolutely love. That's awesome. And so, you know, if I want to be able to do those things, if I want to be able to serve God in the capacity that, you know, whatever he has for me, then I've got to stay mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally strong. So
our responsibility as believers, we're supposed to keep this as a temple of the Holy Spirit, right? Yep. So we're responsible to keep the body in a good place. We're responsible to keep our emotions in a good place. We're responsible to gaze at him and keep gazing at him rather than not, and look instead of trying to control freak. Which will probably be all three of us here. I call it the gaze glance principle. A lot of times what we do is we try to deal with all the problems down here on our own power. Instead of why don't we just bring them up and go here, take care of it, right? So fitness, emotionally, you're trying to keep yourself in a good place. Spiritually, keeping yourself in a good place by just being in the Word of God. And then for you, what's your next steps? What do you want to do next?
So this year, some of my goals, and this may sound funny, but it's what it is I'm learning to play more. I want more joy in life.
That's important.
It is. Because I'm a worker girl, let me tell you. I know how to work.
Yeah, you have a little seriousness to you. I see that.
I don't know how, yes. I can be a little intense.
A little drive.
When she's on a mission, man, you better get out of the way.
I've been told I'm intense. I don't get it.
You know, my wife had to be told that by a group of people in the church. Years ago, she'd walk down the hallway, and there were guys, we have a lot of military guys, and they'd stop and salute as she walked down the hallway. And she'd even notice it. She would be dealing with business stuff, you know, and realized, I got to mellow this out, you know, and start playing. So for us, it was a lot of, let's find things to do that we can just have fun together. So that's what you're looking to do?
Well, even practicing smiling, like as you walk down the hallway, just do that. So for me, it's that. Like I want to have a life of joy. You know, with my grandchildren, with my kids, with the people that I am around. Like I want to be someone who lights up the room. And it doesn't mean I have to be the loudest voice. It doesn't mean that I have to be the biggest personality.
Not at all.
I think that it's really important that in your engagements with people, and when you have those, it's more quieter one-on-one conversations that I have, but I want them to take something away, you know, and I want to be able to fill and feed others. And so in order to do that, I have to be well fed.
And I've personally seen this. Have you seen it? So for me, I've personally seen this. We ended up, after we lost our child, I came to your guys' office. And I said, I'm hurting. You know, I'm hurting. You guys knew what was going on. And laid down. Dr. Sosa touched me. I immediately started crying. Got back up. Then you and Michelle, your husband, and I had never met your husband, just happened to be there that day. And you guys laid your hands and prayed on me. If you want to be at a place that is connected not only to physical body, but the emotional and spiritual side of things and being connected to Jesus, West Chase Chiropractic is, to me, the place to be.
Best place to be.
And I probably shouldn't tell you guys first, but as you were asking me about the future, and I got some big plans for them.
Good.
Okay. I think there's some really fun things that are coming up in the future.
I like that. I like hearing that. I like hearing that because that business is phenomenal. You guys are amazing to me, and I keep on telling Tanya, I just go, man, I don't know what I have done at that particular time. I was going to grief counseling and counselors and therapists, but that actually had the biggest impact on me, was that, which was really interesting. You know, the touch of people, right? And I'm a physical touch. The love language is I'm a physical touch guy. So I knew that the minute they did that, that was going to make me start
Can't get that
crying.
on social media.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And so that's why we need And what church do you go to? Because you're telling me that.
I go to Calvary Chapel, Palm Harbor.
Okay, so another Calvary Chapel. You got to go in there. And so, so you're getting your spiritual side of you done, not only taken care of, but then you can be that for some other people.
Yes.
And you're getting to bring that into the business world, which is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Rare.
So, Michelle, we're about out of time for today, so we'd like to have you back.
I would love to come back.
We'll talk more about the physical side of it and the mental.
Yes.
What the physical does to help the mental. Does that sound interesting to you?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this has been Sam McKeown, Daivd Towner, and Michelle Levandowski. Yay! Twice I got that right.
Got it right.
Today is my favorite day. Live intentionally, be blessed. We'll see you next time.
God bless you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day. Views, comments, and opinions are those of the host and guest alone, and Dave and Sam are solely responsible for the content of this podcast. TIMFD is produced and directed by Alex Korn. Music is composed and performed by Chuck Ball. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, live intentionally, and be very blessed.